Welcome back. Today we got the 100% done for The Walking Dead Michonne. This game took me about 7 hours to complete and has 21 total achievements. As you can see at the start of the video, I gave a spoiler warning for the story of a story game. If anyone plans on playing it, watch the video once you are done. If you want to just watch this story and any spoilers we put in, be my guest. It's just a warning for now. Moving right into the game, none of the achievements today are missable in the Michonne title, which is one of the main reasons I started with it, other than my editor telling me it came before when he looked it up on Google. Just a warning for all the viewers, I've never watched The Walking Dead or read any of the comics or watched any of the spin-offs. So if I kill important people or you think I make the wrong choices, I don't really care because I've never watched it and I don't know the characters at all. Anyways, I did try to save most of the people if possible. If I didn't like someone though, I did kill them. However, like I said, with the power of friendship, my editor, Chewbacca, gave me the info that Michonne actually appears in the show and is important, which is kind of ironic because I don't think any of the other characters are important. But here, he told me she appears in Season 3, in the prison season, if any of you guys know what that is, and maybe some of the spin-off shows, but I haven't watched that shit, and neither has he. But anyways, after this, the first achievement pops for Chapter 1 of Episode 1 of where Chewbacca is saving me from not knowing what is going on. Riveting gameplay, riveting story. So here we join this guy's name is Pete, and then the rest of the crew, I don't remember their names, but he owns a boat, so we're on with boat after he stopped us from killing ourselves earlier in the game. After this, we just end up saving everyone on the boat from getting knocked off, which is kind of lame, to be honest. But we just end up grabbing our machete, and we see a ferry off in the distance. So, being a story game, we know damn well we are going over to that ferry to find out what is available for supplies. And this pops our second achievement after we pick up the machete and head out. A little life bloat on the way to the ferry. We get stopped by a bunch of water zombies, which I think this is the only time I see this in the game. But anyways, we complete a few quick time events, and after we get pulled out of the water and onto the ferry, we end up popping the third achievement of the game for completing Chapter 3.
It smells awful in here. I don't see it.
Crazy.
So once you're on the ferry, you scavenge around a bit more. You end up finding a bag of food and zombies along the way, so you have to kill the or my editor tells me they're walkers, not zombies, sorry. But you end up having to kill those, and then you find some cash. Don't know what that's going to do in the apocalyptic world. But then you hear noises in lockers, and two kids with guns pop out and just point them at you for no reason. And then eventually, after talking to them and going through all their dialogue, more zombies appear, and you have to kill them and save each other. But then at the very end of it, a military guy walks in and takes you all captive. So that's great. But the fourth achievement just popped for completing Chapter 4 of this. So it's pretty good.
Let's see. 2 canteens, a lighter, pocket knife, machete.
Any bites, rashes, coughing?
No, they're clear.
Look at that.
Arriving at the boat camp after being held captive, we find out the military guy's name is Randall, and he becomes pretty important throughout this game. And once Randall takes you into the depths of the boat, you end up getting the 5th achievement of the game. But first you have to meet Norma, who is also important, but she annoys the shit out of me, not gonna lie. So we won't try to show very much of her going forward, and I will, a little bit of a spoiler, I will try to kill her as much as I can. But here's the achievement popping for the 5th. It is also 60G, so that's pretty good.
Where are they taking Pete?
Quiet down here. Here I was, ready for it.
After a few minutes of trying to escape, Randall comes back after hearing commotion down in the boiler room, and you and Sam try to attack him and fail miserably, as you can see. We get taken further into the ship's depths and are met with Zach, who is told to shoot us by Randall, and he doesn't end up doing that right away. He ends up shooting the brother Greg, the other child who hasn't been around as much. He dies pretty quick, actually. Becomes a walker, and then we have to fucking kill Greg. So, rip bro. He died in 5 seconds, became a walker in another 5 seconds, and that was basically it. So I don't really understand how this works, but it's kind of funny because it was literally that was probably a 15-second time lapse. We have to kill Greg, or I guess I killed Greg because Sam didn't want to. And there's Zach looking all stupid and shit. I do save Zach just because I don't think he meant to, and it probably is gonna help us get off the boat. But here we are after that, and achievement should pop for making all of the choices in the end of the episode. But guess what? Xbox still sucks. The achievements for chapters 6 and 7 did not pop. So we're adding it to a new addition to the channel, the graveyard of achievements that my editor will show now. Moving on to episode 2 of the game, Zach decides to help us escape. Aren't I so smart for saving him last time? But we find out he's also gay with the Jonas guy, the other black guy. Then they help us escape the boat, but first we beat the shit out of Randall, which thank God, I don't like that guy either. And we start a getaway by hiding on a boat, and then shoot a flare gun at an oil boat, and then drop kick some random dude. So it was pretty cool. But after that we get on a little boat. Pete saves us and tackles this woman. Then we all leave, and we get the first achievement of the second episode. Moving on, we get to the shore and Michonne's schizophrenic episodes begin again. So we end up tying up this walker because she just remembers randomly that she does this, which I guess is an important scene for the show. I guess this happens or she does it or something. But after this, Randall and his goons show up and start blasting us from the shore. So it's kind of short-lived peace right here. But I'm pretty sure all these zombies end up dying. Here's Randall shooting at us. So we just start sprinting into the woods. Here it is, and once we get into the woods, the 9th achievement pops of the day.
The crew's gonna have to wait.
Moving forward in the story, we just had a bunch of dialogue before this, but as you can see, we're climbing a broken cell phone tower, I think. And Randall catches up to us and shoots at us repeatedly. He ends up clipping Sam after we do some quick time events here. And after this, we end up climbing all the way up, and Randall and his goons can't get there. And Sam is injured, but the achievement pops in the middle of the scene, so it's a great timing for this one, of course. After a while of walking through the woods, we eventually find Sam's house. We do get shot at by one of, I think, her relatives or something. But after this, we meet her family, and we all decide we have to stop Sam from bleeding out. We didn't know what to do at first. If you're a little bit on the edge about blood, you might not want to watch. But we get a hot rod and close her wound. Hot rod from the fireplace, by the way. So that is kind of gross. But after this, you talk to her family for a little bit. They are relieved that you did save her life since Greg was already dead. I don't think they know that yet. But here the achievement is popping.
It's okay.
After a few more dialogue options, we enter another schizophrenic episode of Michonne in her apartment. This has a lot of dialogue, and you just end up picking up the phone and talking. But she's looking for her kids that are presumably dead and cause her episodes. But once again, once we talk on the phone for a while and get through all the dialogue, you're eventually broken out of the episode by the other female character. I still can't remember her name, but she's part of the Sam's family. But like I said, this is probably about 20 minutes of dialogue, and she finally says who you're talking to and breaks us out. After a few dialogue options with her as well, you end up getting the achievement. If it doesn't pop right away, it should at the end of this sequence, but it's supposed to at the beginning. But yeah, she says she's not a great shot. That's important for later, but here's the achievement popping, and here we go into the later halves of episode 2. After even more useless dialogue, we are outside talking to Sam's father before Randall and his goons end up finding us. We'd tell him we had $2, you know, he has a bunch of kids, but here is Randall walking right into the compound. We had a big fight with them, but they think they have us trapped, but we end up fighting back, and after this sequence, a few things went down. We killed this guy with a flare gun. Kind of nasty, honestly. Not a good way to go out. But we, at the end of this, we end up capturing Randall for ransom, basically, for Norma. But we kill all of his goons. We kill everyone but Randall, technically. And during this whole thing, I don't think we end up showing it, but Sam's dad fucking dies. So, spoiler alert there. We don't show it. We save this girl, but here's the achievement popping. As you can see, we ended up capturing Randall. He's held captive in our garage now. His hands are pressed against this random iron thing. I'm not a tool person, so I don't know what that is. But we use Randall for leverage in talking to Norma because we find out that they are brother and sister. Imagine that. Crazy fucks are brother and sister. But after that, we slip into another episode. This happens quite frequently at the end here. If you do end up playing these games, she slips into schizophrenic episodes about every 5 to 10 minutes. So it's great. She sees herself, and when seeing herself, she fucking kills Randall. So that's great. She obviously is dealing with a lot of issues. I don't know if she does in the show, but she bashes his head in. There we go. Randall's dead. Great way to end the episode too. Here's the achievement for episode 2 popping. All of them pop this time, so it's looking great moving forward. Episode 3 starts with Michonne seeing her 2 dead daughters on the floor once again in a schizophrenic episode before waking up on Pete's ship. So this happens to be a flashback to prior to the events of the game. Before the ensuing chaos of this episode coming up. After some quick dialogue with some of the crew members on the ship, we end up waking up back in the present, and this will complete chapter 1. But during this time, you learn a little bit of the backstory of all the characters on the ship, and I don't remember all their names, but it is important later on in this episode, so you know how the characters act and what choices they make. But once we wake up, the achievement for chapter 1 pops, and you see dead Randall. Now staring at a dead Randall, who also killed Sam's father. Once again, we didn't end up showing that. But we decide to do what to do when Norma arrives, because she's going to come and she's going to want to trade for Randall in some way. We do find out later, after some dialogue with Sam, when Norma calls, that she abducted the rest of Pete's crew besides Michonne and Pete, obviously. And we see Randall in this moment become a walker in real time. Once again, only like probably 5-10 minutes after he was killed. But once you see Randall become a walker and all the dialogue with Norma ends, the achievement for chapter 2 will pop. And here that achievement is. Shortly after, the group decides that we're going to bag Randall in order to hide his smashed face, because Michonne went on a rampage and smashed his head in, and try to pull off a trade with Norma for the rest of Pete's crew. And after this, we start preparing the house, and after some dialogue with Sam out in the yard about burying her father and her mother, and hopefully not any of her siblings, the next achievement is going to pop for completing chapter 3.
Is that music?
Oh shit. Here we go again.
The next chapter begins with Michonne having a schizophrenic episode about her kids once again. This time she's getting closer and closer to her kids, but they are also helping her in real time. Seeing her kids leads her to one of Sam's little brothers hiding in a closet. This one is Alex. I think he is the youngest one. But Alex does believe that the walkers are Wendigos because that is what his father told him. But he is hiding because obviously he's a child and is scared of what could happen after both his parents have died and his brother. So after a while, we go outside with Sam's mother's grave, and we talk to her a little bit and discuss what we're going to do when Norma and Everly comes back to get Randall. So after this, we give them a moment of silence with their parents before Norma arrives. And as you can see, Norma arrives. We have to get inside the house, get all the kids prepared. And once they are prepared, it leads us to the next achievement popping, which would be the fourth one of this episode.
Safe and sound.
After some aggressive negotiations between us and Norma, we bring out Randall and start hurting him after she shows that Pete's crew is safe and walking up with some of her other people. We decide to hurt him just because I'm tired of Norma, and honestly, it kind of was fun to see her get all freaked out, even though he's already a walker, but she doesn't know that, obviously. Uh,
This better fucking work.
we end up making the trade
We'll make it.
with Norma, but she quickly finds out that he is a walker after he gets over to her. And all hell breaks loose at this point. Everything went downhill. Everyone started shooting guns. She actually kills Walker Randall. And other walkers start showing up, and we retreat back into the yard. As you can see, Norma's pissed off. The rest of them are pissed off. We end up shooting her. We all start backing up. But this is next achievement popping, and she slips into another episode at the end of this chapter. After some dialogue and a few quick time events where you have to kill crew and zombies, you're face to face with Norma, and you end up slicing into her arm. So obviously you can see we're going to get the best of her in this situation. She gets bit by a zombie, you know she's dead at this point. But then you get to decide if you shoot her or you let the zombies do it. I let her get eaten by the zombies. I hate this character. Her character is terrible. You know, she was a good villain, I guess, but I was just so sick and tired of it. So here's getting eaten by zombies. And then after that, we move back into the house to try to help the family out, and it gets Molotov by the rest of her crew. During this time, during the fire, Michonne starts to slip into an episode once again. Her episodes are all about her daughters. They don't change at all. But at this point, she's getting closer and closer to her daughters and coming to the realization that they aren't coming back at all. You can also see that she's starting to be able to see their faces once again, which I think is her end game at this point. But she keeps going. There's a few dialogue options with it, but she eventually accepts the fact that they are dead. But she does get to see their faces one more time before the end of this. And you have to make a tough choice at the end of this game, whether you stay with them and die, or you leave and help the rest of the family. So obviously I decide to leave because she is schizophrenic, and I think in the show she obviously lives, and this is before that. So we end up leaving. The family helps us out, and then we pass out in the yard while the house is on fire. You see Pete coming to help us once again. After this, you make it to the shore. This is the end part of the game. There's not much left after this. And you talk to Pete for a little bit of what you want to do going forward. You either decide to go with the family or you decide to go with Pete. Just a little spoiler, there isn't another game or anything after this, so your choices don't necessarily matter at the end. They might have been planning a new game, but they didn't do anything with it. And if you decide to stay with Pete, the achievement pops and you see the family walk off on their own.
Come on.
During a brief cutscene, this is the final part of the game. Michonne sees her kids yet again, so she did not accept the fact that they're dead, and the game ends up fading to black and the final achievement pops. I just want to say sorry if I sound a little sick today. I wanted to get a video out for you guys, but didn't want to wait too long or not post 1 week, so I decided to pump it out. I might sound a little stuffy, but thanks again to everyone for watching, and we will see you all next week with another video, and you can see my decisions on this last screen. Thanks again, everyone.
My heart has no home.